heard some of your UFO stories, and I was grateful enough to get you to share them on our channel. But if you want to just discuss some of those, and you tell us a little bit about your channel first, so we can get to know you a little bit.
Uh, well, my channel is just about farming, saving money, and DIY, and just I try and share some of my life's mistakes or and any knowledge I stumble over, just to help people out. That was kind of my main thing to start my channel, and then you and I stumbled over each other in chat room, and I was looking. I didn't realize I was on about 11 months prior to you being on. I thought
Right.
we were on pretty much the same time because I think I had in a year. I think I had 3 subscribers. Oh, man. But anyway, I wouldn't trade it for nothing. And
That's
before I get started on the UFO stuff, I just want to thank you and April. Y'all have kind of glued everybody together, and y'all have got a motley crew of us family members, and we appreciate y'all.
well, we wouldn't trade none of you either. So you
Well,
definitely, you all definitely keep us going too. So we appreciate that just as much as you guys do. So,
all right, you remember that in a couple of weeks, please.
oh, I'm dreading. I'm dreading. Oh, but I love it. It's all in fun, and you always make me smile, and you always make the post office smile as well.
Uh, that's good. Um, my first UFO story. Can I tell all three of them? You remember the third one?
You definitely can.
Okay, my first one, I was a little boy, and back when we were little, we didn't have air conditioning, and it was as hot in the house as it was outside, but at least you'd catch a breeze outside. So most time we were outside till it was dark, and then sometimes after, as long as I was in the immediate area of the yard when I was so young, I could stay outside late, and I'd go out there and play just to be a little bit cooler, especially on weekends. And this was a weekend night, and it was a little bit later, and I was out climbing on some of the farm equipment because that was excitement back in those days. Well, I was sitting up there and I looked, it was in the western sky, and there was this something was on fire, and it wasn't like it was going real fast, but it was going real slow. And I whatever it was, I was scared it was going to land, and I didn't know what to do. So I skimmied down off whatever I was on. I think it was a combine at that time of year. And I went running inside. I had to go to the bathroom. It scared me that bad. And don't know what it was. Really didn't know, to read the paper to see what could have been around or if anybody else had seen it. But it wasn't a shooting star. I've seen shooting stars. This was not that. Well, my second experience of, well, again, back then there weren't a lot going on. But if there was like a, a eclipse or something going on, like with the moon or something, I was going to be out there watching it, or trying to figure out, with binoculars, everything else. And there was I think it was an eclipse happening with the moon. Well, there was this object right near there, just in the sky. It wasn't a star or anything. I saw it, but didn't think much of it, and didn't know what it could be. And that next day, I rode to the store, get a, maybe a quarter's worth of candy or something, just to get out of the house for a little bit. And so I went to the store, and the men were talking about that they said there was something up in the sky right near where all that was happening. And I don't know that any of them had gone out there and seen it. I don't think they had, because it was a little bit later on in the evening, and they'd have been in bed by that time. But I didn't know where or how to research it to really find, because you really didn't have that much research available to you. And I even went back and tried to pull it up when I did your story that prior time to get any information on it, and I couldn't really remember the exact dates or anything, but I never could find anything on it at that point. The third, all right, y'all, this was I thought it was UFO, and I was kind of right. I was in college in South Carolina, and I stayed on a lake called Santee. I was renting a house down there, and I was coming in kind of late one night, and I was under the influence of some libations when I was coming in. Well, I saw something hoovering over this cow pasture, and it would just kind of move back and forth and just turn different ways. So I thought it was a UFO. So I figured if I could make it over there, then I could work out an arrangement with him where I was going to make some money off this deal. So I walked over to the cow fence. Luckily, it weren't on. I'd have been electrocuted. I made it over the cow fence and I was walking over there near it, and it was probably about 100 feet up in the air. Well, I was trying to do motions to direct them to land so I could talk with them first. Well, it kept on doing that and it'd go back and forth. Finally, it eased off and it took off. I knew I'd seen something. So that next morning, there was a store there and I knew the guy and I was talking with him about it. And evidently, everybody knew about this top secret plane, but me, it's the vertical takeoff plane that you have now. I think they call it the Osprey or something like that. Not sure about that. But they were testing it down at the Air Force Base at Sumter, but they were doing it at night where people really couldn't see it. Because he asked me, he said, "You see any lights on there, red and green lights?" I said, "Yeah, come think of it, I sure did." I said, "Oh, they didn't seem that big." But anyway, that was my third UFO. And that was my life coming in on stuff I didn't know nothing about. Now on uh, the shadow people, I stay in a house. Some of y'all may have known or listened to Amy. Uh, I gave a little talk on it. Uh, the front of this house has been here since before the Civil War, and it's been in my family continuously that whole time. Well, I get shadow people, like you walk by a door and you look like there was a shadow in there or something. I go back. Well, I, I kind of ascertained that these are all some of my bygone relatives. I don't get a bad presence in the house or feeling unless there's somebody here that they don't like, then the house just kind of changes, you know. And their big thing, they like to prank me. Um, Trying to think back on a lot of things that happened. They don't really like me having a dog in the house because they were from that area. You didn't have dogs in the house, but I have stuff that goes missing because I have to keep stuff in certain places, like my keys or whatever, to make sure I don't misplace them. Even my phone has a certain spot. If I set it down, it goes in a certain spot. Well, they'll hide stuff on me. I know I've got this stuff, but it's hid somewhere and I can't find it. And that happens a lot. Well, a lot of times they'll make noises. Like I was yesterday. Matter of fact, I was listening to one of your speakers yesterday. There was a knock on the door, and it was a serious knock. Matter of fact, I thought it may have been law enforcement, and I didn't know whether to go out the back door or what to do at that point. So my dog barked. So I go. There's 3 doors to get in my house. So I go look at one of them. The other one can't nobody get through there because I've got some shells stacked there to keep people from coming through that door just for that reason. Well, I go to the front door. Nobody's around, and I stay like at least 300 feet off the road. And nobody would have had time to get in a vehicle and leave, or I would have heard it. But now these shadow people are jokesters. I mean, they love to joke on me. Well, there was a tombstone. It was my great aunt. She was 14 years old. She died during the um, turn of the century. I don't know her cause of death or anything, but I kind of pay special attention to her tombstone. I put flowers on her grave, and I fixed it twice. Well, this last time I got it, and it had broke, and it's a little cross. And if you research my videos, I'll show it to you what I've done to it. So I cleaned it off real good, but I had it here at the house. Well, I think these relatives know I kind of take on too many projects. So there was stuff started happening, increasing, I think, to motivate me to get that tombstone back to the grave site. Well, one morning I woke up, and I wake up early anyway, but it was about a little bit earlier for me. It was like 4:30. I heard a young girl's voice in conversation, and it wasn't. It was like she was telling a friend something, and she had excitement in her voice, and I couldn't make out words. So I started kind of tiptoeing around. I was like, well, there ain't supposed to be no youngins on this property, especially this time in the morning. but I never, there was nobody out there. And I looked out the road, see if there's any vehicles or anything. So I knew what it was. So that day I got back on that tombstone and went to work on it. But a lot of times I think my animals, like my dog, they'll sense something's up and they'll kind of look at a room or something, like something's in there that, I can't see, but they can. And there's been, oh gosh, I don't know how many people hadn't died here. Um, I had one aunt, she died by accident. She drowned in a well. One of my great uncles, he had a heart attack or something, died at the mule barn. That mule barn's been long gone. I've heard of it, but never seen it. And my grandparents and uh, I know there's more. I just am not that knowledgeable as to who may have passed away out here. But that's who I feel like these shadow people are. Just my relatives, and they like to prank me, and I don't get any bad feelings because there's long. Somebody told me, I need to get rid of them, but I think they kind of protect me. So, and they do prank me, but I give out as much as they give me, so I can't really say a whole lot about that. Any questions?
Yeah, if you have any questions for Frugal, make sure you put them all in caps so we can make sure that we see them. Joey's wanting to know if anybody on the chat has seen UFO. I have, or I believe I have, twice in our town. Let's see. They like to prank Frugal, so we know where he gets it from. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So do you feel like these spirits are very protective of you in a sense that, you said they don't like negative people or they can sense people's energy when they come in? Do you
Yeah,
think they're going to protect you?
yeah, I really feel that because there was one instance, and it was a individual, and she noticed the people. She even said something about it, and she was getting ready to get somebody. She wasn't from here, and she was getting somebody to come out here to exercise the house. I said, no, 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 you don't bring people to my house unless it's cleared through me.
Right.
And she got a little bit mad about that. She said, well, I should be able to do what I want. I said, not anything like that, not without consulting me. And so anyway, I told her that, these spirits probably didn't like her and maybe she needed to find other accommodations.
Right. Well, I believe spirits can definitely pick up on your energy. We discussed that yesterday morning. As a matter of fact, the very first segment yesterday morning, we talked about that, and it makes a lot of sense that they can pick up on your intentions.
Yeah, I listened to that and that made a lot of sense, especially, going out and if you're negative or whatever, how, you know, I think that being negative, now this is just me just speculating, but like if you're negative, that gives you a deficit within you to withstand anything being able to get in you. And I think you need to be positive going out. And I never have gone out. I've just, I've learned everything I know from your channel. But I kind of knew about ghost people. I've heard them, not ghost people, but called shadow people or shadows or whatever. And I knew known about them for a while. But I always figured, there was something. But I'm not the least bit scared of any of it. Even the noises or anything. When that knock came yesterday, I got up and I thought it was a human because it was during daylight, but it was just a knock, knock, knock. And I figured I was getting raided for something. Uh, and any other questions? Come on, y'all. I've talked too fast. Y'all got to ask some questions.
Y'all know y'all got questions for Frugal. We don't get him up on these panels very often. So whatever you want to know, just ask away. So do you believe that your area is more prone to do you believe certain areas are more prone to UFO sightings?
I think that's a possibility. just for whatever they've got going on. And I, to me, I think if they're doing anything, they're doing studies on us, and I don't think they'd give themselves up, as far as, we could be an experiment, I don't know, you know. With that being said, now I believe God created us, but I believe, he didn't leave his handiwork to just us. I think there's other, you know, species or beings or life forms that he created, all across the universe.
Laura wants to know, have you ever been attacked?
Gosh, it's been a while. I'd love to be attacked, but
My
uh,
Lord.
no, as far as spiritually attacked, yeah, I have, but it wasn't at my place. It was at another place. I was in a bad situation, and I got where I couldn't breathe. It was like my whole chest had locked up, and I had to hyperventilate till I could get up. And actually, I had to pray it out. And but that's been a long time ago, and that hadn't happened. And if any other thing, I may not have noticed it that much, but that was one instance I know I was attacked on that.
Do you feel like that was one of the spirits that's normally there, or maybe it was something that had come in from somewhere you had been?
No, that wasn't what here. That was at another place I stayed temporarily, and I think it was something attached to that area, and because it just I had an uneasy feeling the whole time. Never got a good night's sleep there, and I had to be there for a little while, and then finally, after I left there and came on back home, I just didn't have that uh, sense, that it followed me or anything like that.
Right. Uh, April wants to know, Frugal, has it affected any of your animals or property?
They move things around a lot on me, and eventually I'll find it. And I have a way of doing stuff. That way I'm at that point in life where I kind of know, well, I set this here, I set that there. And it's to be somewhere totally different. And as far as the animals, like my dog, they'll kind of look, and I've got cats on the outside, and but the dogs will kind of look into an area and just they'll have some strange behaviors. And I think it's just that what I was alluded to earlier, that the people from that area didn't like animals in the house. We may have had a cat, but that was just for mouse purposes, and a dog served no purpose in the house.
Yeah, you can definitely tell when a spirit is back from a different time period. Just especially from like some of the EVPs you get and stuff, you can tell that certain things were different then. Let's see.
I see Melissa's question. I finally got everything cranked. No, I never have, Melissa. Probably if I knew how to use the camera or video better, I may could, but I hadn't. And Lord, no, I never have seen a Bigfoot, but I am in search of a female Bigfoot. If you know of any in Tennessee, please let me know location.
Oh my Lord. Oh, our favorite farmer. That is for sure. So have you noticed? I know a lot of paranormal investigators, we've all discussed it, that with everything that's going on in the world right now, we've noticed there's been like a shift in the activity, and some of the activity has gotten a lot stronger. Some of it's gotten a little more negative. Have you noticed that any of the stuff going on around you has affected the spirits in your home?
Not any of the negative, really. Yeah, like I said, if somebody comes in with bad vibes, if they're on the property with bad vibes, I can, whatever reason it hits me, And they were talking about the intuition you have on things, you know, like I hate to say this, but most time I can be within a conversation with a person within 20 to 30 minutes. I know we'll either be friends or I'll never, that they won't be the type of person I want to be friends with.
I have that same thing, and that's actually a gift that I love.
Yeah, yeah. And because when you and I met in April, we just had a lot of fun together. And I said, we're going to be friends for a while. And it's been a long time. We've been on
You
here.
can definitely tell. And I didn't know that you had that gift as well. But yes, that's definitely something good to have. Patrick wants to know: have you ever lost time where you can't remember what happened?
Uh, you mean by drinking or sober? I guess.
Not from the corona.
Oh, okay.
Like spirit wise, like if you had some activity going on, have you ever like just lost track of a bit of time to where you're not sure what happened in that amount of time?
Can't say that that's ever happened. And no, not and uh, no, I hadn't.
Let's see. Queen Laura, Frugal, do your spirits react to the energy in the air?
Well, yeah, like I said, if somebody's around here, I can tell it, because it just changes and it creates a different feeling on me. And I know, most of I get them off the property or whatever. And here lately, I had a trespasser. And before I went outside, I got a feeling on me. I said, this ain't good. Hey, Jenny. And so ended up, he and I got into a little tete-a-tete out there. And but before I went out there, I knew. I said, it's bad. And I used to get that a lot, but I thought I'd lost that because I'd get these feelings. A lot of times when I was little, I'd tell my daddy about them or tell him about stuff. Well, look, we don't need to do this or that. And a lot of he'd ignore me. And then he'd say later, he said, I should have listened to you. And, but it's not anything I can harness too good, but I just get these feelings and I can't verbalize them too good. I have to say stuff in quick spurts, like, if we're going somewhere, nope, 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 and why, and I can't verbalize it out. And,
Well, Jenny stole one of Jared's questions that he tends to ask a lot too. Question, Frugal, why are you so awesome?
yeah, that's sweet Jenny. Yeah, I'm just,
yes, she
I'm
very
getting,
so is.
no, that's sweet. Thank you. I'm just old and going to mold.
Oh my Lord. So how long did it take you? I know you said you started feeling all this stuff, right away. How long did it take you to get used to having so many spirits around you at all times?
Well, I kind of knew something was wonky around me. Now, when I leave the house, I don't really get get the spirits that I don't think they go with me during the day. Maybe they do in some instances. I don't get the feeling they may be riding with me. I don't know, but they sure ain't paying on no gas. I can tell you that. But probably when that lady that was here was noticing, because I knew, I said, and then I started kind of, well, maybe there is a presence here of some sort. But I don't think it's all my relatives. I think it may have been people who lived on the property too, that worked on the farm and stuff way back in the day. Because we had different people that we were real close to that didn't work out here no more, but I knew them because we'd go over there and get them, carry them to doctor's appointments and stuff. And, I think a lot of them, and one of the guys who worked for my dad, Curly, I think he's out here because Curly looked after me real good. And he should have beat the daylights out of me a couple of times, but he didn't. He looked after me. He was the one. I got sick smoking cigars and chewing tobacco. He looked after me both times. Didn't rat me out either. I'm from North Carolina, Melissa. I'm on the North-South Carolina line. If you know where south of the border is, I'm about 30 minutes west of south of the border.
Yeah. And he definitely has, you can definitely tell it. So have you thought about bringing teams in to investigate your house, or do you just want it left the way it is?
I wouldn't mind that, but I don't want them to run the spirits off neither, because they kind of have a calming effect on me, because I know that I'm protected, and I woke up, just out of the blue, and just, hey, because a lot of the way I work early. And if I'm around home working in the shop, I may be out there in the shop at 4 a.m. and I'll work till I'm tired. I'll take a nap and then go back out. Well, during that nap time, I've had people come up and all of a sudden I'm shook awake,
Right.
no, and I know when I wake like that, I need to get up and see what's going on. And there were people would be out there, I'm like, but
Wow.
now I've got all kind of no trespassing signs and a gate up, but I've had people blow around the gate too.
That's all. I mean, it's good that they're there to protect and stuff, and I understand that. But a lot of the places that we go to, they'll say they'll have specific rules like don't use a Ouija board or do not try to cleanse the house, do not try to get rid of the spirits. So yeah, that's like a main thing in a lot of these places that you go to. They don't want to get rid of the spirits, so you
Yeah.
better not try it.
Yeah. Well, that's like I was in conversation with you, and then I asked the gentleman yesterday. I can't think of his name. Nocturnal.
Neil, he's in here right now. Nocturnal Nation.
Yeah. And he just popped up. Hey, Neil. And I was asking him, could you selectively remove different ones? I never, because I have an antique booth and I do festivals and stuff, and a lot of times I bring in old stuff here. And I asked you about it too, and you said, yeah, I could bring something in that's attached.
Mm-hmm.
And that very, very well is possible. And if it is, I'd want to get rid of that, but not the rest of the folks. I mean,
exactly. And so yes, there is definitely ways to selectively get rid of something that's not wanted there. Because you definitely don't want to send out something that you don't know. It's got something in it. You don't want to send it out to a family that may have kids or something like that, and it be so that was a very good question to find out, because you don't want to send it to somebody and them not know how to deal with it.
Yeah, no, definitely wouldn't. And because I wouldn't want nobody to get hurt on anything on my account, or any kind of ill stuff. And Jared, I think the majority of them are my relatives, and I think that is why they look after me, and why they prank me too, because that's the way pretty much my whole family was. It was just just good-hearted pranks. I did, and when I was little, we went to this man's house. I did a video on this. We're eating pickles. The man made his own pickles. You talking about something delicious? Well, they got pickles. Well, back in that time, them men was going for a drink. So he asked my dad, so let's go for a drink. Well, they left that jar of pickles open around me, which wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
So I ate that whole jar of pickles. They come back in. My dad looked at it. He said, son. And the guy, he laughed about it. He got another jar and opened it up for me. Well, my daddy kind of looked at me and was like, you're on your own. And so the guy, he told me, he said, help yourself. Well, I think I got about 2/3 of that second jar down. And all of a sudden it was a rumble in the jungle.
Yep.
And I didn't say bathroom in front of people. What I'd do, my daddy knew when I had to go, because I'd take and grab his shirt sleeve and just, jerk it a few times.
Yeah.
And I'd say, we got to go. So anyway, the guy pretty much knew what was going. He had set me up.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we were headed home, and I was trying to get my daddy to break the speed limit. And he got home, and I told him right where to stop the truck so I could run into the house. And I think my heels were hitting me in the back of the head, but oh me.
It's good to remember stories like that. Amora Witch, what about when you sleep? Do you feel anything there? Pictures in your dreams or something, not ghost watching you?
Well, actually, when I was going through my separation divorce, I was at a low point in my life. I missed my youngin' something awful. And it was just it was hard on me. Well, it ended up I had this dream, and it was under a bunch of pine trees, but I couldn't see clearly. But they were like, you know how the church has those fold out tables for eating and stuff like that, and folding chairs? That's what was there. Well, about every table had somebody different of my relatives that I knew. So I was going from one table to the other, just sitting down talking with these relatives. And it was such a peaceful dream. And I woke up that morning, a lot of burden was eased off of me because I don't know how long the dream lasts. You know, it's hard to tell something like that. But I talked
Right.
with a lot of different relatives, and I was so that next I hated to wake up because I just wanted to stay in there.
Yeah, understand that. Debbie McWaters, EVP, wants to know, have you ever used any equipment to try to communicate with them? If so, what did you use?
Uh, Debbie, I don't have any type of equipment, and when April and Amy get down this way, we'll use their equipment, and but I never have used anything to communicate with them, and a lot of times I'll talk out loud to them, and on different stuff, but that's just it.
Right. Let's see. Yeah, those kerosene pickles are pretty rough. They were good when I tried them during the taste testing, but after that, no, they're not so good. I still have a whole bottle of them in there in the fridge.
You're sweet smoking, thank you.
Yeah, I call that dream walk. That is so cool. So, do you have any other abilities? I know since you sense them a lot, you're more an empath. Do you think you have any other type of gifts or abilities?
Well, I don't think I can go into them on this interview, but
That's a different channel, Frugal.
uh, not that I know of. I get that I just get a sense about things. And I used to be a bail bondsman, and a lot of times, I could read people pretty quick, and especially talking with people because you're trying to find somebody and you're having to piece everything together.
Yeah.
And pretty much, I could pick up if it was BS.
Hmm.
Um, okay, no, Neil, I'm in North Carolina on North South Carolina line. I'm about 30 minutes west from south of the border. Everybody seems to know where south of the border is.
Yeah. I used to love going to south of the border.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not,
and I've stomped on a lot of the same ground.
yeah.
We ever my handsome face left 40 years ago, maybe 50.
Well, we definitely need to get there, and we just want to meet you too, not just investigate your house. We just want to meet you.
Yeah, I do too. Wayne County, is that up there around Cullowhee? Is that Wayne County? See, I've heard of it, but I'm not sure the location. Ooh, ooh. Oh, I appreciate it, Neil. Most time, I worried about the antiques I was bringing because I was bringing in different stuff, and I've never have got a bad vibe off any of it, and not saying it won't happen. Goldsboro, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know right where you're at, and I'm up near that way up in Wake County a little bit. I'll contact you and we'll break some bread together at some point.
See, there's a lot more people around you than you thought.
Yeah, yeah, I see a lot of them, and
Hi, AD.
welcome, AD.
So, is there anything special you got going on with your channel or anything right now? Hi, Jenny.
I'm at a subscriber plateau. I don't know any more people I can blackmail or relatives I can get to subscribe. Gosh, you
Well,
know,
go
you
ahead.
see these young channels, and they're talking about and you know how hard it was. You know, you and I come up, even though I was on a little bit earlier than you, we still come up through some rough times. You know,
Yeah.
get a subscriber, then you lose them. I want to write personal letters of apology to those people to try and
Yeah.
get them back. And you know, then you get, and you're right there at a milestone. Like I was at like at 8 or 9, and I wanted 10 so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and,
Understand that. And that leads us into anybody here that does not know Frugal Farmer's channel. Make sure you check out the link down in the description, because you definitely want to grab him up. Not only are you going to hear fun stories like this, you know, here and there, but you're also going to see a lot of stuff that is very useful right now. And the way things are going in the world right now, you want to have channels like this to kind of help guide you through it, because you never know where we're going to be in a couple of years. So go watch him. He's very frugal, hence
yeah.
the name Frugal Farmer. He takes us around and shows us the stuff that he does on his farm. The DIY stuff is awesome. He makes homemade soap, stuff like that. So definitely go check out his channel. And if you love watching cooking, food, and how to be frugal at it, go watch his channel, because he does some amazing cooking shows or videos on there as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Amy.
And it's very, like, some of the stuff you would not think to cook. I mean, like you made the other day, the stuffed peppers. What all was in that again?
Oh gosh, man, I'd been craving those. I may be pregnant, but I don't know how. They were jalapenos with cut up onions in the bottom, and I cooked the sausage prior to putting it in there because I want to make sure the sausage was done. And I just packed it full of sausage, and then I just smothered them in cheese and cooked them on the grill till they were soft. Gosh, those things were good. I'd been craving those so long. It wasn't even funny.
They definitely looked good. Smoking Joe said Frugal is my favorite chef.
That's smoking. That's what she always calls me. And you know, you've always called me your favorite farmer. There's other people that are using that now. And I was in a chat the other night, and somebody said that, and I'm like, where's everybody getting that from? You know, I don't know if it's just a natural flow or what the deal is.
Right. Well, that's been my nickname for you for a long while.
Yeah, it has, because you were the only one that had used it, and then all of a sudden it's popping up, and I'm like,
I think things just stick.
yeah, Neil, I've got that Southern accent, or North Carolina. But the funny thing about it, Neil, is my mama was from South Carolina, and I put out a video, and this lady from South Carolina, she wanted to know if I was from the Spartanburg area. And I said, I'm going to have some fun here. I said, ma'am, why would you say that? She said, the way some of your words are, you sound like you're from that area. I said, well, funny you say that. I said, that's where my mom's from. So that may where I got a lot of my speech from. And I had a bad speech impediment when I was little. And actually back then, if you had a speech impediment, they thought you know, weren't going to go that far in life. And that made my dad mad on an occasion. My teacher talked with him about me.
Let's see. Jared.
One pepper for me is heartburn seeds. Oh gosh, you got to love spice. I don't eat salt, and I say I make up for it with spice. Well, not unless it's in the food already, but I don't add salt to my food.
Let's see.
Thank you, D.
Yeah, they went missing.
I'm glad to have you back.
Hi, Charles. So does anybody have any more questions for Frugal about his experiences?
Hey, Jenny Love.
We got about 10 minutes. If you want to know anything, just ask away. Just word your questions wisely, because you know our favorite farmer here. So do you hope to one day be able to confirm your UFO sightings by having something just laying there at your house?
I'd like to. you know, the way I'm surrounded by fields and all, so it's kind of hard to judge distance. And there's probably something laying around here. And you kind of got me on. There was a right behind my house when they've changed the way they do land now. They
Mhm.
don't subsoil it like they used to. When they subsoiled it, that brought a lot of your arrowheads and shards up to the top of the ground. They don't do that. Very seldom do they do it. I don't know anybody that does do it.
Right.
Well, right behind my house was a uh, uh, a colony of a tribe of Indians back there because I've gotten all kind of arrowheads and stuff from back there, and uh, so that could be a lot of the people on here, but I never get any bad vibes off anybody. Yep, been to Fort Mill, Charles.
I love finding arrowheads. You can find a lot of arrowheads and stuff if you get into the creeks and stuff um, around here some. Let's see. Amora Witch wants to know if yours is an animal farm or just vegetables.
Both. I've got chickens. I've got meat chickens. I've got meat rabbits. I've got feral cats, and I've got one rescue dog that is he's mad at me now.
So are you still running your fundraising deals for the feral cats?
Yeah, I'm still doing that. I've still got colony I go feed. And there was one colony, it was getting a little bit sketchy in that area. So I ceased over there because, I didn't want to have to dig a hole for somebody.
Right. I understand that. So guys, make sure you go check out Frugal's channel. Not only can you learn a lot of stuff, but if you'd like, you could help out with his feral cat rescue. And you can find out a lot more information on that on his channel. You can explain some of it if you want to before we get off here.
Explain what, Amy Hun?
About the rescue that you do, the fundraiser.
Oh, okay. All the money just goes to food. I don't use any for gas or anything. And I feed these colonies. I'm trying to work out getting a way where I can get them bred and relocate them to farmers to use as rodent control on their properties, and instead of poisoning, because you got some secondhand problems with poison. You poison a rat, he's walking across, or a mouse, and they get picked up by a something in the birds of prey animal, and that poison goes directly to them. Then you've lost an owl, a hawk, or something else that's kind of crucial to the ecosystem. And so I'm trying to work that and seeing if I can get some farmers on board. But a lot of them don't want cats around their property, and I don't understand that. My cats don't bother me. They get on my vehicle, of course, chitty chitty bang bang out there. They gonna do a bunch of damage to it. So I'm all right with them.
Yeah, you definitely would think that they would want them. It would definitely control the rats and the stuff getting into their seed and food and
But
Patrick. But guys, definitely go check out Frugal. He also has his stories on our channel. He is great. He emails me a lot with a lot of ideas, and I consider him one of my producers of our channel because he's constantly giving us great ideas, and he has given us a lot of his experiences to put on our channel. So he has a lot of interesting stories. You definitely want to hear them. And even when he's talking about food or just stuff like that, he talks about things that the food reminds him of from back in the day. So you will definitely love his channel. You'll love hearing his stories. So make sure you grab that link up. Let's get him off that plateau.
Thank y'all. Oh, thank you, V. Thank you, V. My toes are curling up, honey.
V, we're gonna have to throw some ice water on him here in a minute if you keep on.
I appreciate y'all. I love all y'all. I really do. I mean, y'all have got me through this pandemic, especially Amy, being able to go to y'all's live streams and just visit with people I feel comfortable with, and I appreciate that.
We are very glad that you do. We're always glad to see you in the chat. Not necessarily glad to see you at the post office, but we love that too. So
Okay, just so you know, these voices have put me onto a new idea, and it's coming at you.
I'm sure my post office is waiting to see what you do next.
This is a good one. It's going to take me some time to orchestrate everything, but it's a good one.
Uh-oh. That scares me when it's taking him time to do it. Oh, my Lord.
Well, I appreciate you having me. This thing's been, I've missed a few today, but I was on listening to you Friday and Saturday, but this has been real nice. Amy, you're the hostess with the mostest.
Well, thank you very much. I love seeing that in the chat. I appreciate it. And you know, you're always more than welcome up on our channel anytime. One of these days, maybe we'll get your face on there too.
Oh God, you are going to need that link to get new equipment.
Thank you so much, Debbie. And guys, don't forget, we got more coming up. Up next, we have Eddie and Jen, Vlogs and Then Some. They're going to be talking to us about the paranormal and how it affects their family. They have 3 sons who have some form of autism. So we're going to find out how the paranormal and stuff plays into all that with their family. So you don't want to miss it. And everybody, please go show Frugal some love. And thank you so much, Frugal, for being here with us.
Hey, thank you, Amy. Hey, love y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Love you too. You have a good day. But we'll hopefully see you in the chats.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody, make sure you stick around. That another notification will be coming up here in just a few minutes. And we can't wait to see you and can't wait to see Eddie and Jen. All right, guys, see you in just a few.